make it make sense? How a heart can burn with joy, then suddenly feel cold. Still I trust there's more to know. Feels like my head's underwater, but you're there at the surface, lifting me through the doubt. Can you make it make sense? How a heart can heal again when the fire never ends. A minute ride made me lose my way. 1 minute high, knew my life would change. And I was hoping that you could stay. The city lights will there remain. Oh, I hate saying goodbyes. I wish that time went slow, but I know it ain't too long before we meet. I wait for you. No, I wait for you. Nothing can break us two. I wait for you. Counting every hour, every second makes it easier to keep on breathing. At night in my dreams I find peace, I remember it all. And all it takes is faith. Oh, I hate saying goodbye, and I wish time went so too long for us. I wait for you. No, I wait for you. Nothing can break us two. I wait for you. My heartbeat is racing, everything's changing. When I'm with you, I see all the clues. Feels like I'm fainting, blush like a painting, no colors of blue. I wait for you. No, I wait for you. I wait for you. No, I wait for you. Nothing can break us two. I wait for you. I wait for you. No, I wait for you. Nothing can break us two. Babe, I wait for you.